tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Just like that. There you go. Every buzz. Okay, we have to. Welcome, Oncers, back to AfterBuzz TV. We are doing the after show for Once Upon a Time, Season 5, Episode 13. As you can tell, we're very, very excited because a certain character showed up in tonight's episode. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. Joining me, I have...
Hi guys, I'm Roxy Striar. You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
And hi everybody, I'm Black McIver, and you can find me everywhere at Black McIver.
Excellent, and you can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. You can follow Tiana, who's not here, at the Tiana Hobson. Labor of Love, very, very exciting episode. What were your thoughts? Roxy, you're beaming.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved this episode. It was everything that I enjoy about Once, except for watching my man in so much pain. It was really hurting.
We'll get there, yes.
But I really enjoyed the episode, especially the flashbacks.
Yes, the flashbacks were great. Blake, what were your thoughts?
Initial thoughts, very conflicted. There were things I absolutely loved in this episode, and then there were some things that made my brain bleed a little bit. Ooh. So we'll get into them.
I agree. We will definitely get into it, because Blake, you and I watched together. We were like agreeing and disagreeing at the exact same things.
With big facial expressions.
Very big facial expressions. So let's get into it.
I'm excited to hear.
I'm excited to talk about it. All right, Labor of Love. Let's start with the flashbacks. We get young Snow White, Bailey Madison. I love that she's back. Princess Snow.
She might be my favorite of our younger characters. She does such an incredible job, and she's just the most lovable. Like, I want to squeeze her and pinch her cheeks and give her candy and say, let's hang out. I want to babysit you. She's so cute.
Does she need a babysitter, though?
No, she definitely doesn't. She would end up babysitting me, but that's just how I feel in my dream world.
But you could try.
Yeah.
You can try.
I could.
What do we think of young Snow White? So we kind of figure out in the timeline that this is after Prince Henry and Regina have married. Mm-hmm. And Regina's now the stepmother, evil stepmother. I love this is the evil Regina again because she's so still badass back in the flashbacks.
Did you know Marissa likes Regina?
Oh,
I don't think
I knew. No idea. You guys, can you believe it?
Who knew, you guys? But Regina, ooh, scheming little one that she is. But what do you think of young Snow White? She's not as strong, and she's not the political figure that she is that we know her to be.
No, but what was cool about this episode is the journey sort of her into her strength, becoming Snow White, and we got a little parallel there of like Princess Snow coming into her own and Mary Margaret coming back into her own, and that mirror was really kind of lovely.
That entire storyline just almost had me in tears. Like, finding yourself and then remembering that years and years later it's okay to re-find yourself and reinvent and grow and make these decisions. I love how full circle that all came. That maybe my favorite part of the episode. Although I have a feeling I'll say that a lot tonight.
You really enjoyed this episode.
Oh,
actually.
Yeah. And I needed one of these. I needed a home run, and for me, this really was that.
Okay, so we see young Snow White. There's this bandit going around town and whatnot and terrorizing everyone. And so Snow White has to go out and defeat this guy. And then she comes across Hercules. What were your initial thoughts of Hercules? Was he everything that you imagined or hoped he would be on this show?
Okay, here's the first thing. We saw the answer. The easy answer is no. The difficult answer though is we saw. Okay, she falls in the ditch, right? Mm-hmm. And we saw this amazingly perfect bicep come out of the sky. And then when we saw what was attached to the amazing bicep, it was like,
Yeah. I felt very lucky that I watched scenes from last week, so I knew this is what Hercules would look like, and I had a little time to process, this is our Hercules. So you either at that point accept it or you don't. I've been in a place sometimes where I'm unable to accept something, but tonight I was like, you know what? This is who he is. Let's see how he does. And I actually thought that he was really courageous and in like a non-creepy way, kind of sexy and smooth, and he really like
He was smooth.
Yeah,
I loved the performance. The actor did a great job.
Yeah,
it's the look that I have.
Jonathan Whitesell, who
I
played
see what
Hercules.
you're saying. Yeah, I do see. But I think with this storyline and what he had to overcome, if he had been this jacked guy that we're used to knowing, it might have been too easy, or it might have looked too easy.
True.
So I did appreciate this, but it's really, really hard to see Snow with anybody that isn't charming.
Yes.
It gives you that like ping in your chest kind of feeling, like, ooh, this is weird. I know it was years ago, but oh my gosh, she's gonna make out with somebody. Strange.
And they dug into that sexual tension like throughout the episode, not just the kiss, but it was just like, let me just stare into your eye. Like,
why do you think they did that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess part of this whole Mary Margaret / Snow re-empowerment journey is kind of like coming into her own in all aspects, and I think like being able to see her as an independent woman might be part of it.
Part 1. I think it's interesting that Hercules, it makes sense kind of actually in the timeline that young Snow at this point, before she had any loves, that she had a friend her age, seemingly at her age, to help her along the process of finding herself, finding her strength, teaching her how to use a bow and arrow. That, I mean, I think us oncers have only seen her actually always know how to do it.
That's
but
true.
not actually learn the process. It's just a skill set that she had.
Yeah, it was in a non-malicious way kind of enjoyable to watch her fall on her face a little bit, because we've seen her be so great at everything that it was like, oh yeah, she had to learn these things. At some point, she was not the person she is now. I'm in the chat, by the way, right now, and people seem to be loving Hercules in here.
Oh, good.
Price Right says Hercules starts off as a scrawny teenager in the cartoon. I was
true.
not surprised. Christina Barker says, I thought he was perfect. He wasn't as big as the Disney version, but he was big enough. So there's a lot of love for Hercules in here, which I'm happy to see.
Good.
Interesting. Yes. Okay. So we see Hercules help her along, find her voice, find her courage more so. And then I liked that character development of young Snow White, because even she evolved with her wardrobe. Because at the beginning of the episode, she was in her lush, gorgeous gowns and capes, trying to fight off bandits. And
Beautiful job with those, though. Those costumes.
Those were nice.
Gorgeous. But no offense, no one's going to take you seriously in really nice clothing. So I like how she kind of stripped the princess persona and donned this badass persona.
We needed her in like a Nirvana t-shirt with some chains and some leather on. Yeah. She's here to play.
Yeah. So she actually stops.
Just kidding, guys. I don't actually want that.
She actually stops the bandits, fortunately. But what do we think? Like, you guys were saying that they built up the sexual tension and whatnot, but we had the kiss. Do you like their chemistry together?
I do, because I really love both of those actors, and I loved them getting to like dig into these roles in a like flashback that was, it's such a completely invented moment. It could have gone any which way. We don't have any references for this part of the story, so I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I'm a true believer in the fact that you're allowed to have your first love and your second love and your third love and as many loves as you so please. Like, that's your prerogative. So after I got over the fact that this isn't Snow in our current day making out with somebody, I was like, okay, Little Snow is allowed to kiss Hercules. Little Snow is not cheating on anybody. Little Snow is doing her thing.
And why wouldn't Little Snow have a crush on Hercules?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't she?
And why wouldn't Hercules have a crush on Little Snow?
Exactly.
So I really did like the chemistry. But I was glad that we stepped away from that and gave him somebody else to woo for a little bit by the end. I didn't want him like pining over Snow
in the present.
Right. That would have been weird.
Yeah.
Really weird.
I think it was enough to build and tell the audience that they have good chemistry, a good friendship from their past that would trickle back to the future. And but like during all of that, we see that Hercules, He's on his 12th labor, which, if you guys know, is a Greek mythology.
the actual myth, which was cool that they used the actual
12 labors, and they even showed the medals that represent each labor, and I liked how they tied that into the story.
I would have loved to have seen a little lightning bolt medallion, though. Just like missed opportunity.
too.
Missed opportunity.
I was thinking the exact same thing, Blake. I was like, "Where's Mount Olympus?"
But we did get a little Go the Distance adjacent theme music like on his first entrance, which was very exciting. It was like we didn't fully like pay Alan Menken to like get the da 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 da, but we like almost. We orchestrated it almost in there.
It was like a subtle undertone by like maybe a bar or two.
Yes.
I kind of wanted to go full blown, as I do in a lot of these episodes. I'm waiting and ready for a musical episode. Bring it on.
In order for that to happen, I feel like we need Tiana and we need the Muses. For there to be a really good musical episode.
And of course, we just need Susan Egan.
Yeah.
So
let's just work on that.
Let's just bring her in because she would have done it so much better. All right. So during so we really learned that Cerberus, the big three-headed dog that we know in the Hercules and the Greek mythology, lore, that this is a big, scary creature that actually killed young Hercules. Mm-hmm. And then killed Meg too.
I mean,
yeah. We're like,
this dog.
This dog. What, Blake, what were your thoughts of Cerberus?
No, I actually thought that this was cool. Like, this was a good...
Cerberus. Sorry, guys. Cerberus.
This was good. This was a good plot device. I liked that I liked its entry point into the story. It paid off. It was lovely. He actually didn't kill Cerberus in the animated film, because at the end when he gets Meg,
he just rides him like a dog.
Yeah, so it's technically still alive. So it didn't like blow any hole in my like don't mess with the canon thing, because I'm the canon police. But yeah, no, I thought it was good.
That's what they call you.
My unofficial it's just I'm always upset about something.
I thought that it looked better than I thought it would look.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that. You know that if you're the canon police, I'm the CGI police.
There you go.
With the rose and whatever it is that we see. But I actually, and the hair
and the
last
hair.
week. Oh gosh, this didn't bother me so much. I was like, oh, with what they can pay for, they did a very good job with this. I felt it was scary. It wasn't overused. Mm-hmm. But then it did fall a little flat for me by the end.
Wait, Cerberus did?
Yeah.
How did it fall flat for you?
I kind of wanted it to be a longer story arc. Because we were introduced and then we tackled. It was like the monster of the week, and I felt like we built him up to be a season long or a couple episode long big bad. So we kind of got rid of him really, really quick, which I guess some people, it seemed in the chat and elsewhere, really liked, but for me, I wanted him to stick around a little longer. This is a big battle we have to tackle. And
yes, and it's actually a big topic let's tackle. So that kind of really
good
takes
transition,
us to...
girl. I like that.
That takes us to the present day underworld, and the older Snow White and Hercules still the same age, because he died, went to the underworld. He has unfinished business. He still has to kill Cerberus, and he teams up with everyone down there. And I like how they visually portrayed Cerberus, because they said, the eyes penetrates through the soul and whatnot. And they really did build it up to be a scary, villainous creature.
Exactly.
And I liked how they tie Meg into this, that she even was part of killing Cerberus.
How long did it take you guys to realize this was Meg?
I knew right from the start.
Yeah, I figured
I saw... I mean, if you Oncers know, you follow the show and you follow the casting, and we know Casey Roll was casted a while ago to be Meg, and I figured if you have Hercules, of course you're going to have Meg. Mm-hmm. And what gave it away to me was that she was brunette in the same episode as Hercules, and she was wearing purple.
Yeah, she did have a little purple moment
so
happen.
ode to the Meg in the animated story of Disney. What were your thoughts of Meg and how she was portrayed in this show?
I don't feel like we had long enough with her for me to have an opinion, really. Like, she was crying when we met her, and then Hook helped her escape, so that really wasn't her being courageous, that was more Hook being courageous. And then she did follow through with what she said, but we didn't really, get to chat with her very much. And now she's gone.
Here's the thing. Megara in my life is a very important character.
Same here, Blake. Same here.
I worship the character of Megara. Like, it is so
I worship
fantastic.
Susan Egan, so there you go.
Her one-liners in the film are so important to me that, like,
They're on your wall.
Seriously, you have to just throw out the movie with this Meg, because she had absolutely zero of Meg in her. Like, there was no sass. She had a weak ankle moment. That was her only thing.
She did.
She's one weak ankle moment. That was it.
And she fainted, and I don't even think weak ankles were a part of that. It was just she wasn't as strong as a character as she should have been.
I know. She should have been sassy. She should have had quips. She should have had quips from sitting in the jail cell with Hook. Just like, you're not going to get out. Like,
yeah, right.
Susan Egan, where are you?
Where is
in Orange County.
She is
living her life.
Nicholas Kelly said she was pessimistic, so she played Meg to a damn T. Which...
I disagree.
Which I don't completely agree with, but I do see, like... I saw a little bit more Meg in her than you did, but it was hard to tell because we really didn't get that much time with her.
Right.
I wouldn't say pessimistic. I would say someone who wasn't as courageous as she should.
She was like a scared kitten.
She was very scared.
And Meg was never like that.
Meg was fearless.
Yeah, when we met
she
her...
saved her man, Hercules.
Do you have a name to go along with all those rippling pectorals?
Love it.
And Regina got to say Wonder Boy, which was very exciting.
She did. But it wasn't Meg.
But it wasn't Meg.
Yeah.
Meg, my friend's
But Regina nailed the delivery, thank you.
Regina nails all of her lines. She's just amazing, all around amazing. So we actually get Meg a part of this because Snow White meets up with Hercules, tracks him down. I love how the granny scene moment with the blind witch.
Yeah.
She was great. Child muncher.
She scares the crap out of me.
The evil witch?
Yeah.
The blind witch?
Yeah, she's scary.
I love Emma Caulfield. If you guys know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is my #1 show of all time. And Emma Caulfield, who played Anya in that show, she is just like, she embodied that character, and it was like funny and quippy, and it was the same thing with Evil Witch. It was so much her just being her. So if you guys don't know Buffy the Vampire Slayer, go watch that show.
Watch it.
Go watch it.
Yeah, she's
I can't
fabulous.
say it enough.
And she's scary as heck.
Yeah, which is perfect, as she should.
Yeah. And she even still has beef with Regina. I love that.
Yeah, great.
Regina probably has beef with a lot of these people, or more so the opposite.
Yeah.
People have beef with her.
Yvonne Soto says, Anya!
Anya! Yes, Anya.
So
was
you're not alone.
People know.
Anyanka was amazing. Okay, I digress. But Cerberus killed. Done. So Hercules and Meg, their unfinished business is now finished. And they get to go on the...
Do we think the unfinished business was killing the three-headed dog, or was the unfinished business saving Meg, as Mary Margaret or Snow said at the end?
I think it was actually both. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a two-parter, because we're going to reference the Disney animated version right now, because Hercules had to go save Meg to become a god to go to Olympus.
To become a true hero.
So it makes sense that he still had to save Meg in this show to move on to Olympus.
Yeah.
And also, it kind of bouncing off of what you said earlier, Roxy, like about the whole kind of your first love, your second love, your whatever, like it kind of proves that, like, well, they're soulmates, so they're going to have to get together eventually, you know, no matter what the journey is.
That's true.
Yeah. Did you believe the chemistry between Meg and Hercules in this?
For the 2 seconds in the diner? Like, we didn't really
For the 2 seconds? No.
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 Not at all.
I plead the fifth.
I agree. You plead the fifth? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just say it's interesting. It's amazing that they can have so much more chemistry in an animated 2D animated movie than they did in real life with younger people. So
wholeheartedly agree.
There was more chemistry between Hercules and young Snow than there was with Hercules and young Meg. And I don't know if that was a casting issue or just the storyline didn't reflect that I believe those two would be together in the end.
Yeah. I think that they got screwed a little bit. I think something maybe got left on the cutting room floor because we just didn't get to see them together.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of time for them to like build up oh, you're my savior. I'm gonna go to Olympus with you.
Right.
You talk about them being soulmates. We only know that because we've seen the movie.
Right.
If I hadn't seen the movie, I would have no idea
What was going
these
on.
two people were soulmates. I'd be like, why is this chick going with him? Where's she going? Like,
Well, at least Meg got to go to Olympus this time.
She did.
yeah.
Shoot. Okay. But also, so a lot does happen. I loved the moment between. Let's talk about older Snow White, because she went on a mini journey of self-discovery herself too.
Yeah, she did.
She's still self-doubting herself, and it even got to the point where, what do we think of Regina's pep talk to Snow White?
Oh, I love
On
it.
the bed.
I mean, I loved it. Anytime Regina gets to be like, "Come on, girl, get it together," like it makes me happy. And I've kind of been feeling like Regina expressed for the past, I don't know, few weeks, I guess, of just like, "Come on, Mary Margaret, like, be Snow White, be Snow White. You are Snow White. Be Snow White."
For the purposes of our after show, just having one name for her, very helpful.
It's so much more helpful.
It is.
I'm excited to just refer to her as Snow from now on.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Snow.
So thank you. Thank you, Once Upon a Time. And even as character development, I thought this was a really cool step. I liked it a lot that she went back to being Snow. Yeah, girl. You get that groove in your step.
Stella got a groove back. I loved Regina in this moment. I can't say
No,
enough, you
shocking.
guys. Like, I love Regina. She's freaking amazing. I loved when she was saying, you defeated me in a way that no one thought was possible, and you made me your friend by never giving up on me. And I love this moment because she was actually genuine. We've seen moments where, in past seasons, where Snow White is talking to Regina and always like encouraging her and being that friend and being that supportive moral voice for her. And then we also see it in Regina in this moment. So it's like, it just shows how much the relationship has evolved from literally going back to the flashbacks of now we see evil Regina plotting against Snow White and making her fail against this bandit, to even this episode now in Underworld.
Yeah. This episode was majorly about growth. Whether it is Regina or Snow or Hercules, we saw a lot of that. So it was nice to see everybody kind of move forward.
I think
Except for Hook.
except for
Out
Hook.
of nowhere.
Let's
Poor
get to
Hook.
let's get to
Hashtag save Hook.
let's get to Hook actually. So we see in the beginning of the episode, Hook's all beaten up, stuck in Underworld by
What does it do with
Hades.
the eye, Marissa? Why? Why does it have to be
know.
the eye? Like, he's got the pink eye conjunctivitis gooky stuff
does.
going down. Oh, man.
I know you had a hard time watching this part.
Oh, I started yelling. I was like, Marissa, the eye, the eye. She's like, I know. I watched it twice already.
I'm sorry, Roxy, I'd hold your hand during that.
But I had to have the feels for me and for Tiana. Because she's not here. So
And for all
hooker
the
for life. I had
hookers
to.
out there.
Yeah, and for the hookers. Like, come on. And he even saved, he's the one who saves Meg's life tonight. He did it. It's not even just Hercules. Hook saved her and nobody's even giving him the respect and nobody's finding him. It's frustrating.
So upsetting.
They're trying,
He's
Roxy,
So upset.
they're
They are trying. Just not
That's how
fast
I
enough.
feel. I like turn into a baby about it. I'm like, save Hook, save Hook, save Hook. It's all I can think about. It's
Blake,
frustrating.
are you this distraught over Hook being all beaten up?
I mean, in the long run of the yes, but for the purposes of the episode, like I loved that he got to have these scenes with Hades, and like we got to have this banter in this moment. Like that was fun.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about Hades? Now that we had a whole nother episode, and he did play a big part in this episode, and we got more screen time with him and more character development of just Hades and who he is. What do you now think of Hades and his portrayal?
I like him. I think he's great. I think it's a pretty great match, and it feels like James Woods without being an impersonation, which is fun.
I'm not 100% sold because I'm
Really?
not that intimidated by him yet. I was more scared of the dog than I was of him because I feel like he keeps referencing other things and like other people having power. So I don't know. I don't feel like I'm not sure. I haven't made my mind up yet.
Okay. I personally love the actor Greg German. He's a really strong actor. I like his portrayal of Hades because, again, going back to the 2D animation video, that Hades was very cartoonish. You can actually laugh at him.
Yeah.
And he had his funny moments because, again, it was, for kids. You had to have the villain to be not so much the evil guy, but some moments you can actually laugh. And I like this because this Hades, he actually is scary. When he makes a threat or whatnot, I actually believe him. Like, I would not mess with him.
Yeah. Most people in the chat are obsessed with Hades too. Good question from Saul Reyes, who says, "Why Storybrooke, Hades? Give us answers." We
need to know about that.
We told you guys, budget. That's the answer.
But my problem is, if they can show Olympus, they can create Olympus, they can create a whole new Storybrooke. Or just a whole new underworld. Freaking A.
I know. Ooh, Steven says Hades and Zelina are perfect for each other, equally as sadistic. Yeah.
Oh.
Watch them run stuff.
Zelina's not coming back anytime soon, guys. Just saying. I mean,
You never know on the show.
She got whisked away on a tornado. So,
That's true.
But actually, maybe that's for later. No, I'll bring it up now. Adam Horowitz and Eddie Kitsis, they said that Zelina's not coming back yet, but we will go to Oz at some point.
Oh.
So that's
That'll
for
be
all
interesting.
you guys.
We're off to see the wizard.
That'll be interesting because since Oz exists in a live action space in our minds, it'll be interesting to see how they portray it.
But if they can create Oz, they can create a whole new underworld.
No, Oz is just Storybrooke with a yellow brick road.
That's it. Just a yellow brick road through it.
And a
some
lot
bubbles.
of green.
Yeah,
And
some
instead of red, it's green.
There you go.
Shoot. All right. But, okay, so Hades. Because we see at the end, Meg and Hercules were saved. The clock changes by 2 minutes. Is now, well, it changed 1 minute. So I guess it is actually 8:18. It's weird because literally last episode it was like 10 something. And then now it's back to 8:15. Now it goes to like 8:18. Numbers, you guys, numbers.
I have to tell you that I'm just along for the ride in terms of the clock. I don't feel like I'm intelligent enough to remember all of these times and have them mean something. So I rely on you, Marisa, to come in and tell me what time it is and what that means, because I just don't have the brain capacity. When I'm watching the show, I'm thinking about Hook. I'm learning about snow in the past. Like, I don't know what time it is. I don't even know what time it is in our planet.
I know, it's hard to tell because we literally had to move our clocks forward by an hour.
Right.
It's daylight savings time now, let alone
What
keep the
time
time
is
on
it?
this show.
We have to know what's relevant because they keep showing it to us, but I'm like, I can't keep up with you. I don't know.
I think it's actually smart that they're using this clock. That's such an iconic symbol in this show. For that also has a double meaning, saying for every soul you save, it's the clock is moving by a minute. So, because Hercules and Meg were saved, Hades isn't happy because he's losing his souls, and he has this
The poor unfortunate souls?
the poor unfortunate
I mean, yes.
souls. So, over 1 billion served.
Over 1 billion, sir. Thank you.
We had to keep saying that. But Hades now has this deal with Hook. For every soul you save, that someone has to stay. You choose.
How cool! This is such a cool ultimatum for, like, oh, I love this. And finally at the end, and now we gotta figure out who he's gonna choose or if he's gonna get that far. I love that Hades did this. I mean, it's bad and messed up, but it's a cool plot device for sure.
And it just makes him a bad, evil villain character.
It does. Here's the flaw in this logic, though.
Okay.
If any of them don't have unfinished business that he chooses, they can just walk over the bridge and go right back. Like,
I
Actually,
think they all do, though.
right?
maybe, but because we saw when Meg and Hercules walked the path, it was incomplete again, and then when they started walking, and then it built itself up. So I think like once they cross, the bridge itself like destroys itself again.
I think they
No,
all have
definitely.
unfinished business.
So I don't think they can walk back.
I
walk
just
back
I
if they
feel like
wanted
once you're, because Underworld is more like purgatory. There's a good place and a worse place. So I feel like if anybody is done, if they're complete, they can just go to the good place.
Yeah, but you know another person who needs to go to a better place is Cruella.
Cruella.
Cruella, she
place?
has unfinished. She wants to go to a third place. She wants a third option.
Yeah, she wants to just go back to the real world.
All right. First of all, I love Victoria Smurfett.
She's
Oh,
fabulous.
she was so
Fabulous,
So I mean,
darling.
I love because I think I mentioned it in last after show that we were very upset that Cruella, we only saw her car and we didn't even see Cruella. I was like, you can't have Cruella in just her car. I was like, where is she? Sure enough, she showed in this episode.
Yeah. The question is any of this relevant, though? Because as SSB Melly 99 says, does that mean Henry can use the pen to save Hook and get everyone out of the underworld? So what Cruella has propositioned him with, can he fix all of this?
Apparently so, if he can find the quill.
You can find the quill, yes. So Henry, because he's also the author, we do learn that he broke the quill, but the magic trickled down to the underworld. It's an entity, technicality.
It's a being. It's Tinkerbell.
It is. It is. I kind of, for some reason, maybe I've just watched too much Harry Potter in my life, that, like, it's never really gone. You kill it, but then the spirit goes on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, for some reason, thought
It's going to be one of those, like, the quill is in you.
right?
The quill is
in all of
Mufasa
us.
and Dumbledore.
Yep, exactly.
True.
Cruella's one line about missing gin, a lot of people are bringing up.
I love it.
I feel like Hades would have a bunch of gin
Oh,
down
yeah.
there.
Hades is well stocked, I'm
yeah.
sure.
He might be more of a whiskey guy, but I feel like Cruella, you can bend a little bit there.
The gin, the music, and the gin.
Yeah.
The gin,
The
darling.
gin.
She's like the Lisa Vanderpump of the underworld when I'm living.
And I loved how even when she was talking and trying to be all evil and whatnot, she was like stroking that plastic dog. I'm like, okay, you still have an affinity for dogs.
Oh, yeah.
She's
I
still
love
got
the
it.
dog thing, too. It was cool.
It was interesting.
Peculiar, sorry, I butchered that, says magic comes with a price, which is a good reminder to us
that's
about
true.
what Henry could do and what that could mean.
And what would the cost be?
I like the sound effect.
It's always a sound effect.
Okay. So do we think Cruella, because she wants to go back to the real Storybrooke world, or just the real world, maybe get out of Storybrooke, do you think she'll succeed?
Well, I think she has to, because it was such a good offer. The whole, like, you can exonerate your mother, basically.
Yeah, it was. That was so evil, conniving, twisting, reverse
just,
psychology.
I don't know, because on the one hand, if it's for every soul that leaves, somebody needs to stay, then I don't think we can spare Cruella leaving. But if it's whatever Henry writes, that is bond, or that whatever it is, then yeah, I guess she could leave.
I think it's interesting that we see 2 episodes back to back. We see Pan in last episode. He says he missed the world above. And now we're seeing Cruella missing the world above. These are 2 characters that literally want to go back to the real world. That's not a coincidence. That's on purpose.
No.
I'm sure a lot of them down there want to.
Sure, a lot of them. But it's very specific.
2 important villains.
Yeah, it's very specific that they just want to go back to the real world.
Yeah.
So that's going to play a big part.
Yeah. Nobody in here is trusting Cruella right now. They think that she's got a trick up her sleeve and that she's not being honest with Henry about this completely.
I don't think so either.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure she's got an ulterior motive here.
Definitely.
She's not just going to come back to the real world and sip gin and tonic.
I don't know, she might.
She'll do that, but then in addition to.
In addition, maybe get some more fabulous coats. Who knows?
I
Who
hope
knows?
so.
But I did love that shot of her when they first establish that she was there, and just the framing, how it was like between the legs, and you see Henry like look at her because she's so tall and gorgeous.
She was back and better than ever. She looked amazing.
Not a day has passed with her.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I was like, if being evil makes you look like that, all right, sign me up. All right, I'm in.
Right.
Okay.
What is your underworld skincare regime, Cruella?
Tell me more.
It's less sun, apparently.
It's less booze.
That's
apparently.
true.
Very, very true. All right. Anything else about this episode that we may have missed that you guys loved? Roxy, what are they saying in the live chat? That
DBZ King 02 says, Cruella and Pan, I ship it. I don't know about that.
But you do have to remember, as visually as creepy as that would be, you got to remember in storyline, Pan is actually older than what he is.
That's true.
So it's just he's an old man stuck in a young body.
Rumpelstat.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
God.
still
I have a
creepy.
hard time with that a little bit.
I'd say keep those 2 apart.
Yeah.
They might kill each other. Who knows?
They might.
Anything else?
Asma Mohammed said Cruella's eyebrows have distracted me. Is it because they're so on fleek? So, yeah, they've got a bunch of funny comments in here. You guys in the chat are the best. Thanks,
Amazing.
Thanks for keeping us company.
Yes, thank you everyone in the live chat. You are all amazing. Thank you everyone on iTunes for rating and commenting. Keep rating, keep
Yes.
commenting, keep downloading, telling your friends, subscribing. We love the show, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We have high expectations. If we don't love it, then we'll actually, be honest. But that's what we're here for. We're here to give our opinions.
Luckily, I loved it tonight. Another one in the chat, Victoria Davidson says, y'all didn't talk about how Hook got Emma's message. That was interesting.
True.
That
All
Hook
right.
did.
Oh, yeah.
He was able to receive that. We didn't know because when we saw Hook, he just looked all
Beaten,
one-eyed.
and bloody.
Poor
Yeah,
Hook.
but maybe she has to communicate with him again on the grave. She can't hear him, but he can with her.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's because Hook is still really trapped under Hades', grasp, that maybe he's interfering with magic in any sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
So if he actually left and physically went somewhere and got better communication, like cell service or something.
Emma should have switched to Verizon.
Ooh.
That T-Mobile, it's not working.
It's not.
The most important thing in the chat right now is that everybody has turned on us because they want Once Upon a Weave and cannot think of anything else.
Oh,
They're all
bless.
chanting
Oh,
for it.
bless.
And
I'm being serious.
All right.
How about, you know what? Let's go to Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Weave.
Once Upon a Weave.
All right, this is in honor of our girlfriend who is not
Roxy.
here tonight, Tiana, but she wanted you to see this, Blake, and to
Yes.
critique her new weave. So in honor of Tiana's absence, here's our Once Upon a
Let's
Weave.
play it.
Let's.
Yes!
This is the slow-mo video of Tiana's new weave.
That laugh, yes!
The laugh is everything.
That laugh is me.
Oh my goodness. Tiana's new weave is everything.
Amazing. All those braids.
Oh my goodness. Tiana's new weave is giving me Annalise Keating, How to Get Away with Murder flashback Viola Davis weave.
I
and
love it.
if you watch the show, that's the highest of compliments.
Oh my gosh. So you guys, if you want to go check it out on her Instagram, make sure you do. Is she at the Tiana Hobson there also?
I'm dying. That's
Oh,
so
for
funny.
sure.
Fabulous. I'm so glad she said that.
I know.
That's amazing.
But then other people in the chat really wanted you to talk about Cruella's Once Upon a Weave. So
Okay,
Like,
so
thoughts?
official Once Upon a Weave for this week. Honorable mention, Princess Snow in the flashbacks, because she was rocking that weave as a badass, even when she was in her princess dress and when she was, shooting her bow and arrow. I was like, those from behind shots, I was like, yes, queen, get your weave.
yes,
All right.
Yes, princess.
So she's honorable mention. Once Upon a Weave this week actually goes to last week's honorable mention, and it was because Emma took the damn beanie off.
Oh my god, thank you so much, Emma.
And it's all clean, it's all beautiful. So we're giving it to her this week. She technically took it off last week, but then she put it back on. She took it off again, and that beautiful blonde hair. Those extensions are lovely. So she gets my Once Upon a Weave, but there is a Once Upon a Worst Weave this week.
Ooh.
And that
ew.
tragedy goes to Meg's braid. What in the heck was that? She has been rotten in that underworld prison. She had time to comb her hair. Girl,
She did. I agree.
do something else. That braid has nothing to do with Megara. It has nothing to do with anything. Boo.
She was
And-
crying, and then the tears got in, and it got like rat's nesty. And,
It was gross.
Yeah, I agree.
That fire's not working for her down there.
At least she had the ponytail in the flashback, which was kind of Disney Meg looking. But
I agree with that because the hair was so not there. And we know Meg in the 2D animation. It's like, it's everywhere. It's everything.
the most glorious weave.
It's everything.
Yeah.
So I agree with this. I completely agree with
And
yours.
Cruella's always flawless, for those of you that want. I mean, just that wig is on point.
They all wanted to know your opinion
It's
on
on
that.
point.
Christina says, I did not see any good weaves tonight. Girl, you're being too hard. We saw some really
We find
good
the
ones.
good in every moment
Yeah,
that we can.
except for the braid.
Just that braid.
Yeah, we
I'm coming for
couldn't.
that braid.
I get you.
Do we actually, because, all right, I had to just pose this question. So we know Jonathan Wiesel and Casey Roll, who played Hercules and Meg, they're only slated for one episode of Once Upon a Time.
Uh-huh. And there it went.
Is this it
I
for
think so.
Hercules and Meg? That can't be it.
That's what I'm saying. We
Throw my
didn't
pen.
get the time with them. It's confusing.
You're right.
Because we're asking questions like, how do you feel about their chemistry? How are we supposed to know how we feel about it? Are they even together? Like, I don't know. But I will take, if this is all we get, it's better than getting no Hercules and
Nothing.
That's
Meg.
true.
I know.
That's true.
So that's how I feel.
I think Blake,
So just pull out your DVDs, kids, and watch the animated film.
I'm certainly going to do that tonight because it was so much better. I enjoyed it. I did like that we get the character. I mean, we got to remember, it is Once Upon a Time, so they do have creative, freedom for these characters. Not living up to what I had hoped it to be, but it was still fun to watch within the universe that is Once Upon a Time.
Yes.
All right. So, with that, let's go to predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Ooh, so much.
There's a couple in the chat.
Oh.
Ooh.
Cyan4414 says, I think Neil will make another appearance.
Mm.
Do we think he might come and try to talk to somebody?
Ooh, I'm writing something down for mine.
Okay. All right.
So that's an interesting one. Again, Pekyolurtager, says, don't forget to talk about the new task Hades gave to Killian. So we talked about it a little bit, but predictions on who would be his first to go?
I think it's got to be Gold, right? Rumple?
I kind of hope so.
Well, we see in the previews that Rumple meets up with Hades.
Right, to try and strike a deal.
Both of these guys love striking up deals.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think is going to happen there?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to beat Hades to it. Like, strike a deal with him before Hook carves his name on the first headstone.
Oh my god, speaking of which, can we even call him Hook anymore?
Killian?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because he does take the hand off, the hook off. That was a beautiful shot, though. Like, how they framed that. Like, I love the cinematography.
I couldn't see it through my tears.
Oh.
You're messing with my man.
Yeah. I'm a film major. I love the cinematography. That was, like, that blocking was superb.
With the, like, crusty blood on the hook.
Look what I did. I am sending the message to you in person. Cold, Hades. That was cold.
Real cold.
Okay. So.
Well, and we saw in previews for the next episode that we are going to get to, like, finally see the underworld moment where the souls are. Like, the blue goop. That's the souls. So I'm very excited about that. That's not really a prediction. That's just I'm excited about it.
You're predicting your excitement.
Yeah, exactly.
The blue goop.
The blue goop.
How about the blue poof that Hades had at that moment when he poofed out? I was like, hey, that was actually pretty badass.
Yeah, I liked that.
He poofed, the dogs poofed, everybody's poof.
His poofed was better than his hair poof.
It was better than the hair. Yeah.
Oh, and you know that's coming back next week, so I already know what our Once Upon a Weave worst is going to be.
I don't know. You never can tell. There could be some Meg Braid debacle type situation.
True. And it's not my say. It's all you.
Okay. So what do we think of the, it's interesting that they bring the author storyline back into this with Henry. Do you think Henry's going to do something with this newfound power? Is he going to find the quill?
I think they're setting us up for it, right?
If he doesn't find the quill, this is a poorly written TV show, so we know he's going to find it because, why would we introduce it otherwise? I feel, but what he has to do in order to find it, that will be interesting to see, and what he does if he does find it.
What he does. Oh, so that maybe that kind of goes into my predictions. I think it might be slightly obvious after talking about this for an hour. I wrote Henry's going to restore people back to the real Storybrooke in some way, shape, or form.
With the quill?
With the quill.
Well, yes, because he technically can do that with one act. They're going through all these steps.
I mean,
he could just...
It'd be the easiest plot device, honestly.
It would.
Fill all the plot holes. Like, if he finds the quill, he can literally write them all the good people he wants back to the real world and stop all the bad people from releasing. Which, actually, that also kind of goes into my predictions. Now that Cerberus is dead, as we know with the Cerberus, legend is that he protects the souls from escaping. So now that he's gone, there's no one protecting the soul, so anyone could leave the underworld.
That's true.
Anyone could go up, anyone could go down. But the fact that the main guardian is gone, that just literally opens the door for more people to go.
All hell breaks loose.
Literally.
Legitimately.
So I think maybe more characters will show up than we expected.
I like that prediction, Marissa.
Yeah, people in the chat were rooting for different people to show up all throughout, so I think everybody has their favorite that they want to come back. It'll be interesting to see.
Oh, Cruella came back. Love her. All right, so really fun episode overall.
So great.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, where can everyone keep following you to talk about this show?
You can follow me and send me hate tweets at Black McIver.
No, all love. You guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
And you can follow me on Twitter singing Can't Say I'm in Love by at Serafini TV. Let us know what you guys' thoughts and predictions are for the show. Keep rating, keep commenting. YouTube, iTunes, all those fun places at AfterBuzz TV, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We love it. We love the show. Thank you all for tuning in.
And tell at the Tiana Hobson how much you love her weed.
Yes, her fabulous new
We
weed.
love Tiana. She will be back. We love you guys. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.